All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. One thing that's been happening a lot lately over the sort of the latter half of December is I've been talking to a lot of people who fit into the Manitoba adjacent category. I mean, the show focuses on Manitoba and Winnipeg and everywhere in the province artists, but there's also a lot of people who have are from here, have lived here, and have gone on to bigger and better things elsewhere. And I think that this is another example of a Manitoba adjacent artist. I mean, you obviously have a lot of history here in Winnipeg, but I think the best way to start that off, because we'll get into all of that, is if you want to introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what you do as an artist.
You got it. Yeah, my name is Ben Stopfel. I'm actually not from Winnipeg. I ended up there as a 17-year-old
Oh, cool.
kid. And yeah, I spent 8 years there cutting my teeth, going to open mics, and now I'm here in Nashville, writing music, working at Gibson, kind of doing my thing out here. So yeah,
Cool, cool. And yeah, I guess I mean Winnipeg. I suppose you could count Winnipeg as the place you started doing this music thing, though, right? So this Winnipeg is like your
absolutely.
musical hometown.
Oh, for sure. I consider it more my hometown than my actual hometown in a lot of ways. Like I'm coming back for Christmas, obviously, in a few days here. So yeah, it's like it's home for me for sure.
Cool, cool. And then I'm gonna start off with a question that everyone hates answering, and it's how do you define the type of music you play? I mean, I've listened to your stuff. I've seen you play live a couple of years ago. I have a general idea myself, but for someone who's unfamiliar, what's sort of the Coles Notes way you would define what you do?
I would call it folk. I think that's the easiest way to define it simply folk rock kind of thing.
Okay. And that's a wide enough umbrella term, I think that I mean you could get really deep down into the
Oh
various
yeah.
subgenres, but I mean folk is I think it's clear enough. People have an idea of what that means when they hear about folk music, so I think that fits too. And so I guess maybe a good direction to take this is how did you end up in Nashville? Because I mean Nashville obviously has this history and this familiarity with a lot of people as being a hub for music in the U.S. and then sort of internationally too, particularly country music, right? So what was your sort of trajectory from being in Winnipeg playing shows here to ending up out there?
Yeah, I think a couple winters ago we hit minus 40 and I looked at my partner and we kind of thought that maybe it's time to make a bit of a change.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love a good Winnipeg winter. I miss it even at times, but I think we were ready for a bit of a change there. And also, being in a place with an 8 hour at least drive to the closest other major city was starting to feel a little bit stifling, unfortunately. So we decided that we were due for a change and we wanted to try somewhere that was a music city for sure. Um, so we thought that Nashville was a good move. And I already have dual citizenship through
oh
my
cool.
dad, who's American, so it was easy for me to get a job down here, which was also a big part of it.
Definitely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we were hoping that the election would go a little different than it did,
Yeah, I think a lot of
when we
people were,
moved.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of I kind of describe it like the US is like a rickety old roller coaster in that it's like a thrill ride and you feel like you're gonna die all the time. And Canada is like a lazy river in that it's like calm and peaceful, but can also sometimes be a little boring, which
Sure, sure.
being down here for as long as I've been, I'm like I could do some with some boring, with some like relaxing chill time. So that's another nice part of coming back up for the holidays as
For
well.
sure. For sure. And I don't want to dwell too much on the Nashville thing, but I guess I have this perception. I've never been there, but I have this perception of Nashville as being similar to Hollywood for actors in the sense that tons of people come down there and that's a place that they go to try and make it as musicians. I mean, again, country is
Yes.
obviously the heavy genre there, but is that something that you've noticed? Like, are there a lot of people from pretty much everywhere coming there trying to find some way to get noticed in that city?
Sam, absolutely. Everyone comes here and everyone can come here at all skill levels and genres. And I've done the Nashville songwriters rounds thing a little bit, which is it's definitely interesting. Especially like the ones that are kind of like a low barrier of entry. You just kind of
Yeah.
like DM them on Instagram and show up kind of thing. Because it's usually just like you and like the people who are also on the round, and then like in the audience is everyone's girlfriends or boyfriends, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
all, and then the bartenders. So it's kind of it's interesting like being able to get like there's the market is obviously flooded here for that kind of music, but there's also a thriving indie scene,
Cool.
which is something that I've kind of been making my way into and making music with those kind of people, which has been very fun.
Well, maybe kind of an offshoot question to that then is, I mean, even just in Winnipeg alone, there's there's so many artists and people are doing whatever they can to try and get noticed and trying to get people to hear their stuff. I mean, you're now in just like a much bigger pool of that, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
how do you get people to notice your music there? Because like you said, there's so many people trying to get heard and going to these same events you're going to and things like that. I mean, it's got to be different than it was when you were here.
Definitely. I think there's definitely a collaborative mindset here that is just like part of the culture, especially with like the co-writing thing.
Right.
And there's like using Facebook, that archaic website. There's like Facebook groups and you can like sign up and be like, "Hey, I'm here, I'm a songwriter,"
Oh,
and you'll
cool.
get a few bites and then yeah, I've gotten a lot of co-writes that way and just it's people are hungry to just like work with people. And you kind of just gravitate towards people who you know you'll work well with, and it since there's so many of us here,
Yeah.
you kind of just stumble upon someone you'll work well with pretty easily, which is nice.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. So when you're
Hmm.
coming, I mean, how long have you been there now? What's the timeline?
It was 2 years in September.
Okay, so you're coming back to Winnipeg. You're doing a show here at the end of the
Hmm.
year. How has I'm assuming the environment you're in has influenced your sound too, right? Would you say that your sound has kind of notably changed between Winnipeg and Nashville, or are you still essentially you just maybe a bit of a different flavor?
I think it has changed just because maybe not like the genre, but like the quality has improved since I've been down here
Okay,
because like treating it as more like a practice, like songwriting, and just doing it so much more often has really improved the craft of my songwriting. And that's in a large part by being surrounded by people who do the same thing and
yeah,
treat it as like a craft and a practice rather than like I'm an artist, that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I think that like I'm not like twangy now.
yeah, yeah. Not yet, at least, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I still say like about and I still get made fun of it for it, so I'm never gonna lose that. But yeah, it's definitely just like kind of like a quantity thing where I'm like just working at it a lot more now that I'm down
Sure.
here.
And that's got to obviously contribute to just your overall skill level, right? Just putting
Hmm.
that much practice in just from being around it all the time.
For sure, for sure.
Do
Yeah.
you think of yourself as a songwriter first and foremost, or as an artist? Because I mean, just the way you kind of derisively said artist there in that last little bit,
Yeah.
right?
I think I put on different hats at different times. I think I have a lot easier of a time sliding into the songwriter role because I have a harder time um, sliding into the spotlight. But I've
Okay.
found when I just do the one and not the other, I feel like bottled up a
Okay.
little
Okay.
bit. Like I have to like share it, which can be tough because I don't like talking about myself or like putting myself out there. But it's like a big part of like, but there's also like a deep desire to like share what I'm working on and like
Yeah.
have people
Yeah.
be like, I relate to that. So it's kind of like that. I have an easier time with the songwriting, but I still have that kind of desire to like put it out there.
Okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough. So, I mean, with the songwriting, are you writing? I mean, you're obviously doing your own stuff, clearly still. Are you writing for other people as well out there? Is that sort of the idea of what you're hoping to do?
Yes, yeah, and I've had good luck with that. I've had a couple of cuts, and that's a Nashville way of saying I just wrote a song and someone released it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's just been like, the more I put myself out there, the more songs that I'm on. It's just, yeah, that's kind of like the goal. Obviously having a day job that can be tough to like balance that time, but that has been something that's been nice to do consistently down here.
Cool. And the reason I ask that is because I mean, like, folk music in general, I mean, obviously there's a huge wide range of subject matter, but a lot of it is very
Hmm.
personal, is a lot of very, there's heavy emotions in a lot of folk music. A lot of it is talking about stuff that is very, not unique, but very well, personal, I guess, to the writer. I mean, is it weird doing that for someone else? Is it weird, talking about sort of maybe a first person experience if that's what you're writing, and then having someone else deliver that?
Definitely. I have a lot of respect for people who can like come to a stranger's house and be like, "I got broken up with 2 weeks ago. Let's talk about that,"
Yeah.
and just like get into the nitty-gritty of how they're feeling. I can find when I'm writing for myself with other people, it takes like, a long time of just kind of sitting there and like being okay with the other person's energy to be like, let's talk about this.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely when I'm writing with for other people, a lot of times people have that kind of personality type where they don't care if they're like bearing up their soul to you within 5 minutes of meeting, which I respect so much and makes my job a lot easier writing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So when you're coming back here, I mean, do you have? I'm assuming because you haven't been there that long, you probably have a lot of connections still within the local music scene here in Winnipeg. I mean,
For
are you
sure.
still sort of following a lot of artists that you knew or you know still from when you were here?
Definitely. I mean, I am a giant fan of Begonia, have been for years, so always following her and uh, Keegan from Yes We Mystic, his new project, Speed Reader, I've been following very closely just because he's a
Cool.
friend of mine and I was a fan of Yes We Mystic. And so having him being able to be on the bill with me for his first show ever
Oh,
as
cool.
his new project is very exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think that you have enough people who still remember you here to come out to the show? I'm assuming you do. I mean,
I'm
they're not that fickle, right?
God, I hope so. Please come to the show.
What are the details of the show?
It's December 28th at the Public Domain. Real Love is putting it on. We love Real Love. It's me and Speed Raider, which is, like I said, is Keegan's project, and Elio Ugrin is
Okay,
opening the show. So yeah,
cool. Have you, when was the last time you played in Winnipeg? Is this the first time in a while, or have you come back a few times sort of over the years?
I do every time I come back twice a year. I come back once in the summer and once over the holidays. And usually I do like a bar gig somewhere because it's low barrier of entry, pretty easy money, and I can play all night for my buddies.
Sure.
Um, but for this time, I thought maybe it's time to put my big boy pants on and do a ticketed show, and try to get some people out and um, be more intentional with like, hey, I've got a crap ton of new music here, and I would like people to hear it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the goal with that crap ton of new music? I mean, are you working towards an EP or an album?
Yes. So Uh, I think the only reason I don't have like 50 songs out this year is because of just the money that it takes to record.
Sure.
And so I think what I'm working on in 2026 is just recording it all myself and putting it out um, solo and just kind of because sitting on it and waiting for like the funding to come in just does not serve me anymore. So you're about to see a whole bunch of Ben Stopfel music in the next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
How old is some of this? I mean, I know you've released, I think you have like an EP and a single on your Bandcamp at the
Mhm.
moment. Is this stuff sort of going back to when those were recorded, or is this much newer material?
I think in the last year, for whatever reason, the floodgates just kind of got released. I was kind of like a right when the moment strikes kind of guy.
Okay.
And then doing like a couple of songwriting courses online with School of Song. I don't know if you heard of them,
I
but
haven't, no, but that sounds cool.
it is cool. They have like artists come in and teach a 4 week course. So Robin Pecknold's done it, and Adrian Lenker from Big Thief, and
Okay.
this January, Blake Mills is doing it. Anyways, so that kind of got the ball rolling, and then I've kind of just like I think this year written 70 songs, something
Oh,
in that ballpark.
pretty good number. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like I've just had this big creative outpouring, so it's mostly within the last year of songs that I've written. So
Awesome.
yeah.
For people who are maybe hearing you for the first time, I mean, this is a podcast. They might hear it the day it comes out, in which case your show is happening imminently, and they should probably go get a
Yes.
ticket right away. Or they
Yes.
might hear this 5 years from now or 10 years from now, because apparently I can't stop making these. So, what's the best way to find out more information about what you're doing as far as upcoming shows, upcoming releases, and things like that?
I am all over the internet on like TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, Instagram would be your best bet for finding actual information of like where to find me, and where like music releases and stuff like that. TikTok, if you wanted to see clips of music I'm writing. This is kind of fun. I have a secret account where
Okay.
like I farm new music and see how it does, and then like that's what you've seen me post in the last little while is just clips from the TikTok that are doing okay. Uh, which we all have to do the internet thing if you want to be a musician,
It's
and
true. Yeah,
so
it's part of it. Yeah.
definitely. So that's been kind of fun, just like having like a lower stakes. Like I don't follow anyone I know on there. I didn't port my contacts into it, so it's just like
Yeah.
kind of an expression zone for me. Um, so yeah, if you find
It's
that, just keep it on the hush.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a cool idea. Is that, I mean, where'd you come up with the idea for doing that? Is that a common thing people have tried?
It was just a TikTok because I was struggling with like the kind of like the feeling of being online. It can be tough, and it's like the thought of like annoying my friends with music all the time can be like a little scary. So I saw this TikTok that was like, if you're having this trouble posting, make a new account, don't follow anyone you know, don't put your contacts in, and just
Hmm.
start making. And it just like the floodgates open for me because like it wasn't something where like I was worried about people seeing like something that
Yeah.
was new.
Well, there's no
So
pressure, right? Because there's no one that knows your other stuff is actually
yeah,
watching it. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
Awesome. And then do you want to just plug the show one more time? I mean, people can also look in the show notes. I'll have a link to it, but
yeah.
if you want to just give the details one more time, that would be great.
Absolutely. December 28th, public domain. Doors are at 7. Elio, Ugrin, Speed Reader, and me. And one fun little detail about the show is I don't do traditional merch. I do doodles.
Okay.
Little framed vintage or thrift store frames with like hand-drawn doodles in
Oh,
them.
cool. Cool.
And so I did that at Real Love. I'm doing it again this show. So come by for a hand-drawn doodle that is guaranteed one of a kind.
Awesome. Are those pre-made or are you making them at the show?
Oh, those are pre-made.
They're pre-made.
Usually, usually
Picture you sitting
within
there. Yeah, yeah.
usually within 24 hours of the show because my planning skills are non-existent. But yes, they'll be freshly made, hand-drawn doodles and music at the public domain, December 28th.
Awesome.